all know, database management system is one of the most used concept irrespective of any company. All the company has their own database. They try to use their database to manipulate their data or to fetch their or focus their business. So in this part or in this video, we are going to talk about what is database management system, why do we need them, and what are the types of database management system we have, and how can you identify which database management system you should go for your own database, right? So in that case, let's get started with the tutorial and let's have a look at how can you understand your database management system. Before start the tutorial, let me introduce that Great Learning has came up with a brilliant idea, that is Great Learning Academy, where you will get almost 80 plus free courses, and after complete your course, you can claim your certificate as well. And if you want to do this course in a mobile application, that is also possible using Great Learning app. So let's get started with the tutorial. Now we will have a look at what is database. A database is a container where a data can be collected systematically. Managing and manipulating data with the concept of database are very easy. Now let's have a look at why do we need database. What are the examples of databases we have? So first, suppose you have an online telephone directory, right? So if you need to maintain that online telephone directory, how can you do that? That time you need to have a database where you can store your data. The data is like name, address, phone numbers, and other contact details. So this is where the database concepts comes into the picture. Let's have a look at the another examples of database. Suppose you have an online library. In that time, if you want to have a look at what are the books you have and what is the count of your book and what are the domain or genre you have in your library, in that time you need to have a database, because in a library you will have millions of books and maintaining them in a traditional way is not possible. So that time the databases come into the picture, and the database can help you to maintain your data for millions of books. Now, let's have a look at what is database management systems. So basically, a database management system, which is called as DBMS, is basically a software where you can store, retrieve, define, and manage your data in a database. So basically, we need this system to manage our data, to retrieve data from a huge numbers of data, and you can manage and define your data as well, right? Now, let's have a look at what is the history of database management system. How it came into the picture. So basically in 1960, Charles Bachman designed first DBMS system. And then 1970, Cort introduced IBM's information management system, that is known as IMS. Then 1976, Peter Chen coined and defined the entity relationship model, also known as ER model. Then in 1980, relational model becomes a widely accepted database component. Then the revolution comes in 1985. The object-oriented DBMS develops. Then a huge development again in database management system. Then in 1990s, incorporation of object-oriented in relational DBMS. Then in 1991, Microsoft ships MS Access a personal DBMS, and that displaces all other personal DBMS products. In 1995, first internet database applications. And in 1997, XML applied to database processing. Many vendors begin to integrate XML into database or DBMS management system products, right? Now, let's have a look at what are the most used database management systems we have. These are the software we use to manage our data. We have MySQL, we have Oracle, then we have PostgreSQL, then SQLite. We also have MariaDB, that is also similar to MySQL. And we also have some other examples as well. So let's have a look at what are the types of data management systems we have. We have hierarchical database, we have network database, relational database, and object-oriented database as well. Now we will have a look at all these databases and what are those databases stands for. Let's start with the hierarchical database. So it is a data is when your data is structured in a tree-like manner, right? So that time you can say your database in a hierarchical database.
Those data are stored in hierarchically, like top down or bottom up order. And also they are represented by parent-child relationship. In hierarchical DBMS or the database management system, parent can have many children, but in the case of children have only one parents. So you need to understand these concepts to implement this type of database management system. Now, let's have a look at the network model. But what is network model? The concept of network database model allows all the child to have multiple parents, and also it helps to solve the more complex models like as the order or paths many to many relationship like this. Entities are organized in a graph manner which have an option to be accessed through several paths. So this is what known as network model. Now let's have a look at relational model. So before start with relational model, let me give you a scenario that most of the companies and most of the cases we use relational model because it helps to make a relation between tables, right? So relational database management system are mostly used DBMS model because of its flexibility and easy to implement nature. This model is worked on normalizing data in the database, and relational model store the data in a fixed structure and manipulate them using SQL. And we will also have a look at what is SQL. Now we will have a look at what is object-oriented model. I think you guys are quite familiar with what is object-oriented language. So this type of database also kind of a object-oriented language, right? So in object-oriented model, concept data are stored in a form of objects, right? So in OPS concept, there is a main concept we know that is objects. It's maintain a structure which is known as classes and display the data within that, right? So I think you guys can get a similarity about the object-oriented language and object-oriented model. It describes the database as a collection of objects. It also stores data members, values, and operations both. So this is how we have the lots of options of database management system, and any order you can store your data using any one of them. Now we will have a look at the advantages of database management system. So what are the advantages we have for database management system? For that we can go for our data to be shifted in DBMS, right? Now we will have a look at the advantages. So DBMS has lots of techniques to store, manipulate and retrieve your data, and this is very easy to do that as well. And DBMS is considered as a most efficient handler to balance the data as well. A DBMS uses lots of powerful functions to store, manipulate, and data efficiently when your data is a big number, right? And data integrity and security is one of the most strong part of DBMS. So whenever we are going to talk about security, when you are actually using a organization data, that time you have to make sure that your data is secure, because in your data there are lots of hidden information will be there. So that time if you want to use a traditional tool to maintain your data, maybe your data is not secure. So in that case, DBMS is the best choice for you to go for storing your data, because DBMS has a high security and there are lots of security reasons as well where you can make your data secure. The DBMS use data integrity to protect data and maintain the privacy. Also, it helps to reduce application development time, right? So we will look into all those things, how actually it can reduce the application development time as well.
In this tutorial, we have talked about what is database management system, why do we need them, what are the types of database management system you have, and what are the database management system you can go for using your database, right? So I hope this tutorial is help you to understand the database management system, the basics of database management system, and what are the types of database management systems we have. So if you really like the video, do let me know in the comment section what else you want to learn from us. And before complete the video, let me introduce that Great Learning has came up with the idea that is Great Learning Academy, where you will get almost 80 plus free courses, and after complete your course, you can claim your certificate as well. If you want to do this courses in a mobile application, that is also possible using Great Learning app. Thank you so much.